And if I sound unprofessional or goof up any words, I apologize in advance. I asked for that teleprompter, but they said it was being used. I want to thank all you guys for coming tonight, and I want to get some introductions out of the way before we begin, so Chris will have all the time he needs to speak with you afterwards. Okay, we just introduced our Warren County Coordinator, Mark Westcott, and we have a few team leaders with us. We have Jim Morris. We have Gene Comstock. George Christian. Also part of the team. And I wanted to give special thanks to a few people who really helped me. A lot of people helped me, but few to speak of are Susan Lintner, Nadine Battaglia, Cheryl and Rick Deschamps. And last but not least, Mike Packer. Where are you? He's standing all the way in the back. Lending us this club tonight, and for all his help me getting set up. You may have noticed this boxed American flag. It's very important to me that I get this out, and I think it'll have meaning for you too. This was draped on my father's coffin last year. He was a World War II veteran. And I think that it's very important for us to remember at all times, we get lazy and we forget, all the people that have lost their lives and given their service for this country. People just like us that are sitting here now, that went to war for us and started World War I, World War II, the Civil War, and all the way to today. It's very important that we remember that. At this time, I just want to call out a few names of guys I know that are currently serving. If there's anybody else you'd like to mention that I don't know of, be glad to. First, we have Robert Miller. He is a United States Marine. His parents are here now, and I'd like to ask one of them what his title is again, because I've forgotten it, and where he's stationed.
He's a sergeant, recon sniper in Okinawa.
Thank you. And I'm going to let you speak again. I want to call out to Cody Frazier, I'm sorry, who's serving in Afghanistan.
He's a specialist from the 10th Mountain Fort Drum, and he's currently in Kabul, Afghanistan.
I'd like for all of you who have served in the military to please stand so we can honor you. To all of you. God bless you. We love you. Let's see. What else did I want to say? At this time, I would like to introduce to you our town supervisor, Fred Monroe, who has a few things to say about our town.
Okay, I guess you can see I didn't get the memo about the red shirts.
Me neither, Fred.
It's a pleasure for me to be here tonight to welcome Chris Gibson to Chestertown. I get to express my support for his candidacy. I've read the positions on the issues on your website, and it's clear to me you have the character and the knowledge to be an excellent congressman. I'm very pleased that you're our candidate and will be our next congressman. A few comments that just things I've observed as supervisor of the town of Chester that I think relate to the campaign. I think we all know that our legislature in Albany is just totally dysfunctional, and it's really, I think it's an embarrassment to the for everyone in the state, and we need people like Chris to change that. Certainly at the federal level we have our problems also, especially at the state. Amen. One of the biggest problems we face and I'm sure this is something that's on his radar screen, is the fact that that both the state and the federal government impose numerous mandates on us, things we must do in our schools, in our town, the county, villages, and some of them they initially provide the funding and then they gradually withdraw it. Some of them they never provide the funding, and all it does is it pushes the burden from the income taxes down onto the property tax. We all know the property taxes are too high, but it just takes it out of the control of the local government and our school boards, and that has to change. It just doesn't work to have one entity creating these mandates and then sending the bill to the local government. And numerous surveys have surveyed people on how they feel about their local government, their state government, their county government, and federal government, and all the surveys show that they prefer the local government because that's the closest to the people and is the most responsive. So we have to take those burdens off of the local government and the schools. And I know that's part of this program. The other thing that I think is very important is the regulatory environment that we live in. Actually I'll hand it out later, but I have just a chart that shows on land use how many different agencies we have that are controlling our land use. Here in the Adirondacks, we have the Adirondack Park Agency, we have town land use controls, village land use controls, Department of Environmental Conservation land use controls, Department of Health, Army Corps of Engineers, and in the Lake George Basin we also have the Lake George Park Commission that weighs in with all of its regulations. And I know from personal experience that many of those regulations overlap, many of them are conflicting, and it's just a horrible maze that anyone that wants to do anything, create a business, build a home, a maze that they have to go through, and it bogs everything down, and it's a wonder anything ever gets done, frankly. It's just, it creates regulatory gridlock, and it's just something that has to change, and I know that's on your platform. I certainly appreciate that. And it's related to the other biggest issue I believe we have, which is the sorry state of our economy, that has to improve, and certainly this regulatory change has to be part of it. With respect to the health care, I know that all the towns, all local governments, and individuals are facing a huge increase. Every year we have increases in our health insurance costs, but this year we just got notice that for the town health insurance, which is with MVP, we got notice of a 27% increase, which would have been 35%, except we renew on December 1st, so we're still under the 2010 rates. If it was the 2011, it would be 35%. So these are just things that are unmanageable, and also the federal government's budgetary policies. They're creating unsustainable levels of debt. We just can't keep going like this, or we're not going to be able to survive. So I'm really appreciative that Chris is running for Congress. I believe he believes in all the right things, and he's got the character, certainly the education, the knowledge, and the commitment to help lead us out of the mess that we're in. So, glad to do the campaign.